Lucel. It was a kingdom of unparalleled natural beauty, a vast realm adorned with flowers and blessed by the Fae. As the youngest royal, I was blessedly far removed from the line of succession, a position that afforded me certain liberties. While my elder siblings chased ambitious goals and the dream of the crown, I much preferred the company of critters and the quiet, crackling secrets of magics. But serenity is a fragile thing. One day, a warlock, petty, envious, and cruel, cast a terrible blight upon Lucel and its people. I watched the life drain from my home. The rivers choked into streams of poison, the air turned hostile to the living, and my beautiful fields of flowers simply withered away. My royal kin, in all their grand bravery, promptly escaped to neighboring countries. I, however, found myself much too stubborn to leave the motherland I loved. In order to survive and fight against the Great Blight, I required a far grander magic. I sought out the greatest treasure of Lucel, the royal peridot. The sight of the royal treasure filled me with both awe and fear, but my determination helped me push past all of my doubts. The cost of such forbidden power was steep, but I paid it willingly for the salvation of my homeland. By merging with the stone, I shed my fragile vessel and became a lich. With my newfound powers, I cast a protective veil across the lands. A perfect, impenetrable stasis, forever preserving what was left of my motherland in its former glory. Of course, a few centuries of absolute solitude can make a girl terribly bored. I began to experiment with the darker facets of my powers. Necromancy, as it turns out, was a delightful way to pass the time. I must confess, I was merely tinkering with discarded armor and stray souls. I hardly expected my little distraction to actually stand up. Oh. Hello there, little knight. Greetings, my loyal subjects. It is I, Princess Vixie Vantalia of Lucel, pleased to make your acquaintance. Well, of course, if you ignore the fact that I am indeed undead. But we do not need to sweat the details, of course. No need to cry over spilt skulls, as some would say. How about, instead, we move on to more important matters, yes? Such as introducing the most wondrous royal that you all see before yourselves. So, let us begin. First of all, my name is Vixie Vantalia, but you may simply address me as Vixie. Of course, if you so desire, you may also refer to me as Your Highness. However, it has been quite a long time since anyone used such a title, so perhaps Vixie would be better after all. Moving on, let us get into the details of my existence. First of all, my age. Well, it would appear to be missing. How funny. Oh, well, perhaps some creature has scurried across and covered it up with dirt. Of course, that doesn't quite matter, considering I am a lich, and liches do not age, so we shall leave it there. A mystery, if you will. Subsequently, my height and weight. I have heard mortals have a particular interest in these things, but whatever, I will not concern myself with that. For my height, I stand at a most regal 144 centimeters tall. Of course, in Lucel we do not engage with such frivolous measurements such as feet and inches, so regarding that matter you would do best to convert it yourself. Likewise, as for my weight, I weigh as much as a handful of skulls. Whatever a handful may be, well, I do not worry too much about that. Next, we shall discuss my birthplace. Of course, that would be Lucel. As the youngest royal in line to the throne, I am indeed most proud of my kingdom. Of course, it has changed quite significantly since the blight occurred, but I do still indeed that you pay... I can't speak. I do still indeed recommend that you pay it a visit sometime. Goodness, I think this magic has fried my brain somewhat. Furthermore, my birthday is September 27th. As one of my dearest subjects, you would do best not to forget what day it falls on. It is considered a most glorious occasion in my kingdom, and perhaps now it is a little bit lonely for me, but I do hope that we can change that together in our celebrations. And finally, my occupation is necromancer. I am quite good at reanimating the dead, and I consider it a most valuable talent to have in one's CV. With that all covered and out of the way, let us move on to discussing my interests. After all, I am quite sure that you would all like to know what I am fond of, yes? Okay, moving on. So, to begin, your princess has very particular tastes, as befitting of a royal. Indeed, I am quite fond of caffeine, but only when prepared to my liking. My favorite beverage to partake in would be an iced coffee with oat milk, because although I am undead, even liches need their morning pick-me-up. However, I do still cling to the preferences I held in life, and that is to say, if it is made with hot or regular milk, your princess will be most unhappy. I hope you know this. Moving on, your princess is also quite fond of fine clothing. Of course, currently there is a lack thereof, but we do not need to worry about that. You see, the process of becoming a lich did quite a number on my wardrobe, and the powerful magics appear to have left them in shreds, hence the current bandage situation. But when I was a human, I was most enamored by J fashion, in particular Gothic Lolita. Perhaps it is a good thing that I do not have my finest frocks on hand, because I fear that you may not be able to handle my cuteness. Next, I may be a lich, but I do also enjoy certain pastimes, and one of those would be engaging in human video games. Of course, as with my coffee, I have particular tastes, and one genre that I am most fond of would be retro games. I am quite biased towards Nintendo series, and I hope to share many of my favorite video games with you when we spend time together in the future. Finally, it is hidden slightly by my head, but I also quite like herbal tea, with a preference for chamomile. Those are some of my favorite things. I hope you shall remember them. Next, let us discuss my dislikes. Now, I simply must tell you about a few utterly dreadful things I refuse to tolerate. First of all, meat. Ugh, absolutely not. I'm a vegetarian, which means I only dine on the most elegant delicacies approved by the Royal Kitchen. I understand protein is important, but only for humans, and I am a lich. After all, meat is far too heavy and inelegant. Second, condiments. Why must people insist on drowning perfectly good food in mysterious sauces? Ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise are just terrible. I cannot get behind them. I believe that food should taste like itself, not like some sort of potion brewed by a wizard. Also, they're messy, and I don't do messy. I am an inelegant princess. So, I don't quite enjoy condiments either. Third, navigating directions. I do not do too well with navigating directions, but I shall do my best when we play video games together. Perhaps I shall require some of your assistance, but as my loyal subjects, I am sure you shall oblige. And of course, there is no such thing as getting lost or being late when you're a princess, so until now, I have not had to worry about it too much. I like to call it going on an adventure rather than anything. Indeed, indeed. And, well, last of all, you can't quite see currently, but I'm not a fan of not wearing socks. Now, let me explain this. I strongly dislike having cold toes. It is honestly unacceptable. However, a little bird has notified me that this may not be in line with all humans' tastes, and as your most kind and generous princess, I may agree to cooperate with your preferences. After all I wish is for my subjects to be happy. Now, let us move on. Let's discuss some of my hobbies. So, being a princess is not simply about looking stunning, as you may know. So, there are a couple of things I like to engage with that I shall tell you about. First of all, I am quite fond of working out. Yes, I do exercise. You may be surprised considering I'm a lich, but it is very important to maintain my elegance. So, that is something I quite enjoy. Also, lifting things makes me feel very powerful, and as you know, I already am quite powerful, but, it's nice to confirm my strength is still intact. Next, I am quite fond of drawing. I quite enjoy passing the time with illustrations, and I do intend to show you some of my artistic skills in the near future. Perhaps I shall even illustrate myself for you all. I hope you enjoy seeing my creations when the time comes. Third, I do also enjoy engaging with singing. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Sorry, I'm nervous. Perhaps I am not as gifted at singing as I am with reanimating the dead, but do not fret. This princess shall still endeavor to give you all her best performance. In fact, I may have something special prepared for you to all enjoy later today, so please look out for it. And afterwards, I also lend my vocal cords to all manner of voice acting activities. I'm quite sure that some of you may enjoy them, but as for what I can share with you here, well, I hope to tell you many stories that will leave you feeling positively enchanted. Perhaps you may even hear some other familiar voices, such as those of my other dear friends from the Rift when we collaborate. And finally, as befitting of a princess so fond of nature... Oh, I kind of have to stand down here for you to see, but... Nature photography is another thing that I am quite fond of. So I quite enjoy going on strolls around my kingdom and photographing all of the beautiful little creatures I can find, whether they be birds or rabbits or spirits, all manner of plants and flowers. I do quite enjoy taking photos of them, and oftentimes I do tend to paint pictures of them as well. So in the future, I hope to share some of my artistry with you, my dear subjects. Now, with that discussion of my hobbies out of the way, perhaps we should return to a topic I mentioned earlier, that of video games. Although I am particularly fond of retro games, I enjoy partaking in a wide variety of titles, some of which you can see here. So, to list them for you all, first of all, I am a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda series, and I most certainly plan to play some of my favorite games in the series for you all. I am particularly fond of the original N64 Ocarina of Time, as well as Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess, which I'm quite sure is very fitting of my own identity. Next, I am also a very big fan of the Pokemon series, and later this week you will be able to see your princess begin a playthrough of Pokemon Emerald, which of course is quite fitting for my theme. Do not get it confused, however. The gem on my stomach is actually a Peridot, not an emerald. Keeping in line with my fondness for Nintendo series, I am also quite fond of the Kirby and Fire Emblem series, and my favorite games in each of those series include the Kirby's Dream Land games, as well as Fire Emblem Awakening for the 3DS. You can see here. My apologies, I appear to have covered it up with my beautiful form. And so I intend to play many of the games from those series as well. when we spend time together in my future streams, so please look forward to those. And finally, this princess is not afraid to pick up a weapon, although perhaps I am better at spellcasting than I am with aiming. Nonetheless, I'm quite fond of Overwatch and Deadlock, and you may see me drag the other Rift girls along with me for some collab streams. Now, finally, let us discuss anime. Perhaps you may be surprised that a royal princess is interested in anime, but do not fret, for I believe my taste is quite excellent. As you can see here, some of my favorite anime include Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, and Golden Kamuy. Although perhaps I may have neglected to include it here, I'm also incredibly fond of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and my favorite part is part 2. In fact, if you were paying attention, you might have actually noticed there is a JoJo reference hidden in my character introduction slide. So if you happen to find it, don't forget to let me know, okay? I'm confident that at least one of my loyal subjects might have noticed. Now, with all of that introductory content out of the way, how about we move forward towards discussing my future goals? First of all, I would love to try all kinds of fun games with my buddies. That's you. If you didn't know, you are my buddies. Not just my loyal subjects, you also are my buddies. That is your name. I'm sure we'll have lots and lots of fun trying out all kinds of new titles and learning more about each other. Second, I hope I can do lots of collabs one-on-one with all of my beautiful gen mates. All of them are so sweet and lovely, and I truly hope that we can make lots of fun content together for all of our lovely subjects of Lucel to enjoy. Third, I plan to write and voice act weekly ASMR roleplays, which you will find here on my YouTube channel. There will also be content in other places, so you shall have to go ahead and figure that out for yourselves. I am quite sure that you shall enjoy it. Fourth, I wish to showcase my wonderful voice acting skills for you all by being a part of either a game or animation of culture. Of course, anything with such a beautiful royal in shall be considered cultured, so I hope you don't get any wrong ideas about what that could mean. And finally, for my last goal, I wish to spread Vixie mind virus all around the globe, beginning with Lucel and stretching worldwide. I hope I can capture both your heart and soul with my magical charms. Moving on. Now, let us discuss the last of our royal records. As you can see, here are some of my most important facts of all. As you can see, the fan name for you all is Buddies. This is a pun because bud, flower buds, and then D's is kind of like dies, and you know, I'm associated with death being a lich and all, so if you're wondering what the meaning of that fan name is, there you all are. Then, for my Oshimark, it is a skull and a plant vine, so if you would like to show your support for me, please make sure to add it to your display name, and I will know that you have been infected with Vixie mind virus. As for the tags, when you would like to share something with me on this human platform known as Twitter, I am still learning how to use such a thing. Please tag it with hashtag VixieFantalia. As for art, please tag it with hashtag Vanitas, which is a pun on Vanitas and Memento Mori. And then for that is there. YouTube-kun, please don't bonk me. that is there. So, there you are with that. I didn't say anything. Now, moving on, there are many, many lovely, talented artists who worked very, very hard to make this debut possible. So here are all of their names. They will also be displayed on my card website, which is in the description. So if you would like to commission any of these wondrous artists, please make sure to check out their socials. I'm incredibly grateful for their wonderful work in helping to bring Vixie Fantalia to life today. Now, after that, we must discuss my schedule. So, for the upcoming week. Here are all of the things you will be able to see. I will also be doing a debut 2.0 stream tomorrow, but that is not on here because tomorrow is Sunday and, you know, it starts on Monday. But here you all are. You can see all of the streams I will be doing, so please make a note of that, and I hope you enjoy. As you can see, I plan to play some very iconic retro games. In fact, we're beginning with one of the most pinnacle games of all time, because I thought, you know, my very first gaming stream, I should most certainly start with Super Mario Bros. And so I will be streaming that. I will also be playing Spelunky. I will be playing Pokemon Emerald, which is another of my favorite games. I will be doing ASMR on both YouTube and Rplay. I will also be uploading an offline ASMR video on Saturdays, and I will finally be doing a drawing stream on Friday. So please look forward to all of the streams that I will be doing. And yes, I believe that is all for your Royal Princess's debut slides. So, does it work? Oh, yes! Okay, fantastic. I was slightly concerned that my chat box would not display, but I appear to have used my excellent magical skills to make it happen. So, let us chat just a little bit longer before I send you all over to Lucel's wonderful debut. First things first, I wanted to say that I have noticed a couple of people questioning my stomach. Yes, it is a piercing. I have a peridot gem on my tummy, and I think it is quite wonderful. So, I should perhaps show you my full model actually. Wow! Here is your princess in her full glory. What do we think? I think it is a very cultured design. I'm quite a fan. I am very grateful to the powers that be for bringing me to look in this way. So I hope you enjoy it just as I do. I have a vine tail. I have flowers on my royal boots. I even have jorts. The jorts are on. The jorts stay on during stream. As for my shirt or lack thereof, well, we don't have to worry too much about that. But you can see that the bandages also extend all the way down my arms. And they are very cool, very awesome. I also have some toggles, but I will be quite honest, I have not quite grappled with that magic quite yet, so you'll have to wait for my debut 2.0 stream, and I'll show you some of the cool toggles I have. So, please enjoy those. But yes, so here is my full form. I quite hope that you like it. I think also the stomach tattoo is very cute. That happened with my magical transformation, as did many assets of my appearance, including the flames on my head and my cape. There also appears to be a giant bolt in my head, but I just assumed that was a side effect of my transformation into being a lich, and we left it there. The royal we, of course, for I am a princess. And, of course, I must also show you my eyes. Wow! Look how pretty. I even have flowers in my irises. And I also have elf ears, if you haven't noticed. Da-da-da-da! I don't know why I keep doing that. Maybe your princess has a fixation on making sound effects. I don't know what that is. Please excuse that. Perhaps it is a habit I have developed during my solitude as a lich. But yes, those are some of my most important aspects of my design. So I hope that you all enjoy. As mentioned, I do have an art tag on Twitter, so if you would like to make any fan art of your wonderful princess, please feel free. I would love to see. And I hope you'll enjoy as well seeing my design in future streams. So I will make sure to do many streams so you can admire this model of mine. I do quite like the hair streak as well. I think it's quite cute. Again, I am quite a cute lich, I would say. In fact, I do believe I may be the only one of my genmates with a stomach piercing, so perhaps you can consider that my special charm point. Either that or my elf ears. Maybe there are other charm points too, but I shall have to wait for you all to decide and let me know. I will leave that to my loyal subjects to decide. But yes, so that is a preview of my design. You will be seeing it lots in future, and I hope you quite like it. But yes, I apologize for having messed up a couple of my lines when I was presenting, but I was quite nervous. My heart has been beating very fast to meet with you all today, but it has been an utmost pleasure, and I truly hope that you have all enjoyed meeting your princess today. I hope that you have also been enjoying all of the wonderful streams from my beautiful genmates. Please, please, please support them with all of your love. Witches do not have heartbeats, but in order to better understand my connection with you all, I have produced an incantation that simulates the feeling, so that I may better understand you. I care deeply about bonding with my subjects, and I hope we can continue to do so in all of my future streams. Yes, thank you so much for being here for the debut, and I hope you all also enjoy watching my final genmate, Lucel, debut very shortly. So please make sure to check out her channel. I believe that either one of my genmates or management shall link it very shortly in the chat. So please make sure to check out Lucel. She is so wonderful, so cute. I love her very deeply. Please make sure to show her all kinds of affection, and I will see you for our Q&A later. Bye bye everyone!